go. Okay. So this is what we'd like to do. Write a program that creates a two-dimensional array, fills it using scanner, then display that array, and then prints the sum of every column. So let's do that. I'm going to create a new project with NetBeans, and let's name it. This is lecture 11, exercise 1. And I'm going to save it there. That's fine. Finish. All right. So this is the main method, and I'd just like to write a program that creates two-dimensional arrays. Did I specify the size? No, but we'd like to have like two-dimensional arrays. So how to declare a two-dimensional array? First of all, what is the data type of that array? Do we know? Do we have something that tells us what is the data type? No. So we're free to choose whatever we want, and I'm going to choose int for the simplicity. And I'm going to use this as two-dimensional arrays. Give it a name. Say array1 equal new int, and what is the size? I don't know, let's make it to 3, okay, since you proposed that. And I'm going to copy and paste and make it array2 with the same size, whatever. So I just need now to fill it using the scanner. So I'm going to use scanner. Notice the imports automatically added. So let's name it like kb equal new scanner system.in. Because we said two arrays. Creates a two-dimensional array. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. They want only one array. I thought maybe they want two arrays. So I'm just going to use only one. True. So we just want one array, not two arrays, just one two-dimensional array. Okay, we're going to fill it using the scanner. Welcome, Sam. So let's do that. With the 4 and then hit the tab, you're going to have this template for 4. And so what is the maximum value? I mean, the first one we use it for generally the rows. So this should be 2, right? Or I can make it array.length, so it can be dynamic. So whatever I change it from here, it's going to be updated because of this use. Okay, let's use another 4 and j. This time, how can I get the number of columns? Array3 dot length. Do you agree? Before I get to your question, do you agree with this? No, you should not. Because 3, there is no such element at index 3. When I'm doing something like this, I have, this is where this might come handy. When I said this is 3, so this is 0, 1, 2, and there are 3 elements. So I cannot use this 3 over here. So the maximum one I could use 0, 1, or 2, but 3 because this is the boundary. Okay. So let's, for example, by default we can use the 0. And what was your question then? There are two zeros. Which zero are you referring to? This one over here?
Yes.
You'd like to put array I? Well, you can, but you have to be aware that there might be a problem. There will be a problem, actually. When j becomes, I. Yeah, you can put I, actually. In this case, you can put I. But you are going to miss some, maybe. Yeah, it will work, yeah. You'll not have this problem, that array out of bound exception that might be thrown. Yeah. But I prefer to always use fixed, because all our array has the same number of columns, so on all its rows. So I'm going just to take one of them and get the number of columns over there. Okay, and so now let's ask the user to display something. So I'm going to please enter a number. And maybe it would be handy if I just explain to the user which element in the array I am going to be putting. So I can display, for example, the indices of, the coordinates of that element by like the row and for the row and column. So let's replace this row with I. So I just replace this row with I. I'm just going to do the same for this with j. You get my point? You know what this is going to be doing? So the first time I is 0 and j is 0, so it is going to display. I'm going to remove the line so I can put it on the same line. It is going to display, please enter a number for, and then between parentheses I'm going to see the first value of I, and then comma, and then the second value is the value of j. The first time I is 0, j is 0, and then the second time I will stay 0 and then j becomes 1. So I'm going to see actually which element I'm going to fill. And now I'm going to put something like this: array of I, j is equal to keyb dot next int. Can we try this? Let's run this and see how it will look. I did not finish, but just I'm going to see that. Okay, so you can see now, please enter a number for 0, 0, for 0, 1, for 0, 2. Then that's it. We finished one row. Let's go back to the second row. And that's it. So it was able to display all the indices for the rows and columns. Okay, is this okay with you? What we need to do next is to display that array. Okay, so let's display the array. How can you display the array? Well, let's do something. I'm going to use the same thing, another set of nested for, and I'm going to do the same thing, except now this time, instead of asking the user to type something, I'm going to be displaying the array. And I don't want to display all this. Maybe I'm just going to display the array plus a space, so all the values are not squeezed. And when I finish with one row, I need to go back to the line. So this is where I'm going just to do this. Remember, this is how we're going to be displaying the array. And just before that, I'm going just to make some separation between the values entered and this displaying. Let me just enable. Oh, I did not start it, so I need to start it. Where did I put it? Okay, let's. Okay, so we got our If it clicks display, then all our, because many times I'm pressing this Control S like a reflex without even thinking about it. I just would like you to see that every time I'm saving, just in case something wrong happens. I don't know, computer runs out of battery if you're on a laptop, or maybe someone step on, may unplug your computer, so you don't lose much. Okay, what is this warning? Convert to for loop. I don't know what. I don't. Okay, let's forget about this one. I don't understand why. But let's not focus on it. So we got our values inside of the array. We separated them with just a line, and then we're going to display the arrays. And we can do something like, sorry, that will tell the array is, and then I can have something displayed. Let's try it again and see how it will look like. And now I can see that the array is 548 and then 759. And this is this task over here. We're done. The thing now that we'd like to have to do is this print the sum of every column. How can we do that? The sum of every column means I just would like to display the sum of this 5 plus 7 and then 4 plus 5 and then 8 plus 9, right? These are the sums of all the columns, each column. So every column I just would like to display the sum, the total of it. So how can I do that? There are two ways. I mean, the easiest way is just to, it depends which one you might find easy. I might just calculate the sum and then display it right away by just starting from column wise instead of going row wise, because this is, if you remember now what I'm going row wise. Every time I'm displaying each row. Every time I'm getting something, I'm getting the rows. If you remember, if you notice here, I'm starting with the row 0 and then I'm going for the row 1. Once I finish with the row, I go to the next one. Now I need to be doing this now in going to column wise. And if I'd like to do that, what I need to be doing is to revert, do something like this, for example. 4, and let's name it J so we don't get confused. Every time I will refer to J as my column, so I'm not going to be confused with this IJ thing. So in the outer loop, the outer 4, what is the maximum? I'm going to go for the number of columns. How many columns do I have? 3. How can I get the number of columns with this condition over here, right? This is my maximum number of columns, and as you said 3, I can get it through this. Is it fine? Now I'm doing the same, but this time with array.length to get the number of rows. Then I need to find a way to calculate the sum. Okay, so in order to calculate the sum, I'll put it as 0, or what I might be doing, maybe declare this inside, because every time for each column, this is saying for each column, I'm going to go row for that column, each row by one by one, so I can get the values. And then once I get the values, or I calculate the sum, then I just need to display the sum by doing something like this. The sum is, let's say this is the easiest way. And later on I might be doing that in a better way, which might be more user-friendly. I mean, to see it better, to improve how it is displayed. So now what I need to be doing is sum plus equal what? I, j. Are we going to get the sum of each of those columns? I'm just for the sum of column, let's say, I'm going to add this. The sum of column j is the column, okay, is having the column. So the sum of column j is, and I'm going to display every time the sum. Let's see if this is going to be working. So this is the array. So the sum of the column 0 is 14. The sum of the column 1 is 10. And column 2 is 12. So it seems to be working. But how can I make it, for example, if I'd like it now to have something like, maybe let me show you what I mean. If I'd like to have something, okay, let me maybe just move this around. Something that draws a line and then put those values here, like 14 here, for example, and then 10, and then this 12. If I'd like them to be at the bottom of the first array, I need to do something more than that. But this is enough. I mean, if you're happy, this is answering the question. I don't need to do anything more. I just would like to show you some more things that I can do by using the same principle that we did, as we did for something like here. Yes, here in this example over here, when we got the average of all saved in one array. So let's do that. So we can have an exercise which is close to the other one that is in the slides. So instead of doing something like this, I just would like to declare another array that I'm going to call sum, for example, which is going to be an array. So let's new int, and what is the size of that? I need it to be the same 3 over here. So I'm going to make it depending on array 0 dot length. And what is array 0 dot length? This is the 3. And of course I'm going to be having a problem because now I have 2 variables with the same name. So I need to do something about this. So what I'm going to be doing basically is the following. I'm not going to declare it. I'm going to use the same one, but except this time I'm going to use sum of j. I'm going to put 0 inside of it, and then sum of j is equal to that, and then I'm going to display sum of j. Well, before doing anything else, I just would like to I just changed the way I'm calculating the sum by using an array, and I just would like to make sure that this is working. So I'm going to run this and make sure that it is going to work even if I'm not displaying it the way I wanted it to be displayed, if you remember. So 5 plus 1, that's 6. 5 plus 25, 30, and this is 7. So it is working fine. I just not switch from one variable that is declared every time in a loop in an array where I can save all the values inside that array. Now that I have all my values inside that array, I don't need to display them at the same time. What I need to be doing, I need to display this. Remember this, I said I wanted a line, so let's draw some line that looks like this, and then let's display this in a loop. And I'm going just to name it j, just not to get you confused, because it's actually from the same j that is there, so you just not get confused with that. And so now what we added, we added a line, and then we displayed the sum, each one with the space next to it. Let's save and run. Let's enter some values. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 1, for example. And in this case, you see that it displays all the values with down to it. Okay? Do you have any questions?